All right, good afternoon, everybody. Captain Clark, the SAC and the ASAC from the local FBI office, and some other folks here. As you know, last night, about 11:40, Officer Jesse Hartnett was on patrol in uniform in a marked vehicle when he was ambushed by a male. This male fired several shots at close range, striking Hartnett in the left arm 3 times. Despite being seriously injured, Hartnett exited his patrol car and chased the male. He returned fire and was able to strike the male, who was later apprehended by other officers. The bravery he demonstrated was absolutely remarkable. His will to live undoubtedly saved his life. And we're ever so thankful to God that he's here today, because this could have easily been a police funeral. Officer Hartnett is presently recovering. He has some very serious injuries that will require multiple surgeries. Our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family. The suspect in question is a 30-year-old male from Yeadon. He has a Philadelphia address as well, I believe. Has confessed to committing this cowardly act in the name of Islam. According to him, he believes that the police defend laws that are contrary to the teachings of Islam. Now, at this time, if we could post up the video, just want to show you something on this before the mayor takes the podium and outline what's going on here. So this first video, it's actually not even a video, it's a still shot. You can see the male in question going towards police officer Hartnett, already firing. Second shot, he is literally inside that car. He's got his arm extended, firing at Officer Hartnett. I'm absolutely amazed that Officer Hartnett is here with us today. This male fired at least 11 shots from a 9mm at close range. You can see he begins to run away, continues to fire, even as he flees away. This shot right here is absolutely one that demonstrates his valiance and his courage and bravery. He exits his police vehicle, starts chase despite being seriously injured, returns fire. He's able to strike the male at some point in time, and again, his fellow officers were able to apprehend him. Unfortunately, I will have to tell you, in the interest of full disclosure, the weapon that this male used was a stolen police firearm. It was stolen back in October of 2013. It wasn't reported, and that is one of the things that you absolutely regret the most. Fortunately, again, Officer Hartnett is here with us today. We ask that everybody keep him in your prayers, as his injuries are very, very serious. At this time, I'm going to turn the podium over to the mayor for his comments, and then subsequent to that, if you have any particular comments for Captain Clark from the homicide.
Good afternoon. Our main concern at the moment today is the well-being, health, and the recovery and rehabilitation of Officer Hartnett. Obviously, you can see the bravery that he displayed, and he and his family will get everything that he needs from our police department, from our city, in an effort to recover and to be whole again. I want to compliment Homicide Division, the police department, for their just tremendous work, their ongoing, everyday tremendous work, especially in this particular case. We're going to bring this case to fruition, and I think it's very important that we understand how hard they work in circumstances we work under, and also how our officers every single day are willing to do what Officer Hartnett has done, to put themselves between us and the bad guys. So that's the first part. The second part is that in no way, shape, or form does anyone in this room believe that Islam, the teaching of Islam, has anything to do with what you've seen on that screen. That is abhorrent. It's terrible, and it does not represent the religion in any way, shape, or form, or any of its teachings. This is a criminal with a stolen gun who tried to kill one of our officers. It has nothing to do with being a Muslim or following the Islamic faith. So I'm going to turn it back over to the Commissioner for any questions.
So I imagine you have a lot of questions. What I cannot answer, the captain will answer, or perhaps someone behind me. So we'll open up the questions.
Commissioner, what specifically did this man, Mr. Archer, say to the about what he had done and why he had done it?
Okay.
We had the suspect upstairs, we was like, you didn't talk to him. Right away, he didn't have anything to say, but then he stated that he pledges his allegiance to Islamic State, he follows Allah, and that is the reason he was called upon to do this.
Specifically, he did this for what reason? What was his issue with
He
police?
just kept on echoing those sentiments, and he wouldn't do it.
Captain, the FBI is at his living quarters out there at the tower. There's word circulating that he traveled to Cairo several years ago, and what about possible terrorist materials at his home?
Right, I mean, I can't comment on that. The only thing I can tell you is that the FBI, in conjunction with homicide detectives and our Homeland Security, they're executing search warrants in his property in Upper Darby, and also one in Southwest Philadelphia, not too far from where the shooting took place at. We'll go in and we'll see what we find, but right now we don't have anything yet.
Why are they being called out so quickly?
Why is?
The FBI and Homeland Security, why are they being?
Well, I mean, the totality of this circumstance. I mean, you had an attempted assassination of a police officer. You had this individual saying he did it because of his religious beliefs, and because of that, and so on, around the country. Everybody came forward very, very quickly to find out the answers behind a lot of the questions that I'm sure you guys have.
You have a,
Vernon, let me just comment on one thing. So I need to make something clear that in any incident like this, the FBI works very closely with us anyway. I mean, I got a call this morning before we knew this information from the SAC, just offering his assistance as they always do. So I just want to be clear about that. Okay?
Do you have Mr. Archer's date of birth and prior criminal record?
If there's anything from out of town about this guy, just maybe direct.
Again, as the captain indicated, one of the things that we hope to glean from the search warrants as well as the investigation with all the federal partners and our partnership that we have is to determine whether any of those things actually exist. And we'll try to find out. We honestly do not know at this point. We're being as forthright as we can be about what we know, and so we know exactly what we know.
Commissioner Miguel Marquez with CNN. It's stunning that this guy survived this, that Officer Hartnett survived this. Was he only hit in the arm? Was he hit in his body armor as well? How many other strikes did he take, or was this guy just off? And if this is the correct individual that we're tracking, it appears he has a very extensive history, including a history of making terroristic threats. Is that part of your order? Is this the same, I guess, Edward that was arrested, was born in February 1985?
Okay, so to your first question, 3 gunshot wounds to the left arm is all we have. Absolutely amazing that that's all we have. I cannot explain how he escaped that, nothing short of miraculous. We're thankful for that. As far as your second question, a lot of that will be determined from this investigation. We simply do not know a lot of this. They just got this statement this morning. And so it stands to reason that there's more unknown than known. And as we get it, we will make every attempt to let people know what's going on.
But you're saying he's 30 years old or 33 years old?
The police officer is 33 years old.
33 years old.
He did have a fairly extensive criminal record. Is that?
He's got a criminal record. I mean, the extensive part is relative to what we see from day to day.
I thought I had heard from our folks in checking records that he was actually set to be sentenced on a case out of Media Borough Monday of next week. Do you know anything about that?
I do not. We will find out all that.
Commissioner Ross, do you have any idea how exactly he obtained this gun?
He obtained it? No, we do not know. We know it was stolen. How many hands it may have passed through in the last couple of years, I have no way.
Never reported
He did not talk about it.
Never was reported stolen?
It absolutely was.
Can you talk about the circumstances surrounding the theft?
All I can say is it was a theft. Police officer's gun. It was reported as it was required. And sometimes things happen, and someone was going to report. I will tell you honestly about that. It was our protocol.
From the home of the
From
officer?
the home.
Commissioner, what about protections for officers in situations like this? Was he wearing a bulletproof vest? The car, any element of protection for an assault like this?
Well, I think one, he had the grace of God, just first and foremost. But, because I can't explain it based on my beliefs in any other way. But he had a will to live, as I mentioned before, which is equally big. But he had on this vest. But under those circumstances, man, I can't imagine that almost anything that you could have to protect you. That is chilling, absolutely chilling when you watch that. And if that doesn't just make the hair on your neck raise when you see that, it's scary. That's all I can say.
Is there any indication that he had any links to anybody else planning a terrorist attack?
No, we don't have that indication right now. I think he was savvy enough to stop just short of implicating himself in a conspiracy with anything. Even if one exists, we don't know right now. The detectives in question did a remarkable job in even getting that from him. He doesn't appear to be a stupid individual, just an extremely violent one, obviously, by his actions. And we're going to have to wait to see where the investigation takes us.
Do we know anything about his mental history?
No, we don't. Obviously, that was one of the first thoughts that we had. It's only natural to go there when you see someone do something so barbaric that, what's wrong with them. And I never want to lay the foundation for excuses later in court, but you do have thoughts like that, but we have not determined.
Commissioner, just so we're very clear about this, because this is what, of course, everybody's talking about. You have no indication at this point that he's part of a larger organization, no real knowledge of whether he was radicalized as a separate individual, but he has specifically simply made the claim that he is doing this on behalf of Islam and the Islamic State. And beyond that, you don't know whether there's a connection of him being individually radicalized or just a guy who in his own mind said, I'm going to do this on behalf of this cause.
We do not. And I think that was part of his savviness, if you will, in stopping just short of implicating anyone else. And I say that, and I caution you to say that I don't know that there is or isn't, but he seemed to know how to navigate around just enough. And so I don't know whether that means it's because he knows not to do that or because he was just lucky. I really don't.
Commissioner Ross, does it appear to be premeditated?
Well, it looked like it to me. I mean, in the manner that he did it, and seeing he certainly was targeting police. He wasn't just targeting a motorist driving down the street. He knew who he was shooting at, and my God, I mean, the way he shot his arm inside that vehicle, I mean, he knew what he was doing. He was trying to assassinate.
And what is the condition of the suspect right now?
Well, he's actually been released, so I mean, obviously he got in our custody, so I guess he's okay.
Commissioner, the audio for the dispatcher is terrifying listening to the officer. How was that? Was he holding a button down while he was chasing this guy down? Did he roll down the window? Did he suspect anything was going to happen before the men started shooting? And then what was his condition? By the end of that audio, he sounded weak and in trouble. What is his condition once?
Okay, unfortunately, I'm probably going to only be able to answer your last question. All the rest would be mere speculation on my part. I don't know exactly how he was keying his mic or anything like that. You can clearly see his left arm is immobilized, and at some point he's courageously firing back. So I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he escaped it. Period. With regard to his condition at the time, he had to be very weak because he lost a significant amount of blood at that scene. We all know what happens when that occurs. So again, the whole culmination of things and everything involved in this is just both confounding and astonishing that he was able to escape like this. And I can't say enough for his bravery and how he conducted himself. I really, really can't. I mean, he really is demonstrating, a paragon of excellence when it comes to what it means to be both a police officer in terms of being a warrior and everything else when he had it. He's got 5 years on the force. He actually was a lateral from another department. And I just had a discussion with the vice president of the FOP, and everyone says that in addition to the acts of bravery that are demonstrated here, that he was a compassionate police officer, in that even an individual he arrested not long ago for narcotics, he stopped and got food for that individual's son. The very person he arrested.
Could you clarify, did he do this in the name of Islam, or did he pledge allegiance to the Islamic State? Two different.
Well, he said a lot of things.
Okay.
And so, I mean, for us, he clearly gave us some movements. And so a lot of the things that we get, we're going to try to connect via evidence we hopefully obtain. Again, he didn't say a lot beyond that. So it wasn't like laying it out completely chapter and verse for us. I mean, we're left to try to say, okay, he's leaving a trail for us. Where is it going to lead us, if anywhere? And so I don't have an absolute for you, but those are the things that he said, things that, I told you about, the captain expounded on. This is what we're working with.
What do you know about what do you know about where the suspect was earlier in the night, earlier in the day, how he got to that corner, why he was there?
Very basic about it. Obviously, the detective asked that question, and again, either smart as a fox or just lucky he avoided all that. And I think in some regards it was method to his madness, whether he knows that or not, but it certainly came off that way. And so I don't know either of those three answers.
You said you're searching the residence near the scene. Is that owned by him as well?
I don't know who actually owns the house. We just were going to search these residences that we know he has resided or laid his head at different times.
Can you talk about the instances like police firearms being stolen in Houston, like crimes at all? Like, is this something common that happens?
I don't think it's common. I mean, but police officers are citizens as well, and sometimes things happen, and it's unfortunate. Again, in this case, man, you're talking about a heavy burden on your conscience, irrespective of whether or not or how culpable you may or may not have been, but it was your firearm.
Can you speak to where Officer Hartnett shot the suspect, and also how the suspect was apprehended? Because we see him running away, but how was he actually caught?
He was able to strike him in some part of his butt up. Other officers responded within roughly about a block away or so. And that was how that happened.
Did he flag this officer down, that the officer paused, or looked at him or something, or he just comes out of nowhere?
Just came out of nowhere and started firing. He just came out of nowhere, started really and literally reversing towards that patrol car. I don't even know when Hartnett first noticed him, but we know that you can see him from across the street. He had already started firing. So there's no attempt to be called in that regard. He just started firing with one aim only to the kill.
Did he just
Car was moving.
There seemed bystanders who possibly were out there and see the car. Did they come to the Hartnett thing?
I don't believe there was anybody else out there at that time. I didn't see anybody in the video. Some of them behind me were correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't recall seeing them.
Is it usual for the officers to be working alone?
That's how Philly PD actually operates. We have a myriad of assignments. Some of them are two-person, usually tactical work. But in our department, we've historically done that. Obviously, when these things happen, we make adjustments. But it's just one way you can go.
Have you changed that today?
We changed it last night. Whenever you have an incident like this, all fears are heightened, and rightfully so. And we want to allay the concerns of the men and women who wear this uniform as much as you can with this situation. I mean, because this is a dangerous job, and I think this video, this incident, just captures the essence of that. And anybody that doesn't begin to understand what the men and women across this country deal with and are faced with, and that you never know what that next encounter will be.
Commissioner, is the video itself?
I don't think so. It's a little too sensational in respect to him and his family. And to be honest with you, there's a sentiment of not giving this person more credence than age. And I'm a little concerned about what some other people may see when they watch this video. I think these pictures capture the essence of what it is. You really are not missing anything. It's just motion. I mean, you really are seeing the incident in its entirety. The only difference is those figures are moving. That's the only difference. So you're not missing anything other than just sensationalizing it. I don't really think that's necessary.
Is there any additional surveillance today of individuals or organizations that may be associated with any kind of terrorist threat?
I don't know, and obviously we work in conjunction with the federal authorities. We're not necessarily the experts on that, so you have to ask some of them about that. And I'm sure, as good as they are, they're going to work very hard to uncover that. If there's something to be uncovered, I have every faith in the FBI and Homeland Security that they're going to find out.
One final question.
Because of the way this individual did this, because he's being circumspect in the questioning, it sounds as though you heavily doubt, or doubt to some degree, his claim that this was at any sort of other nexus to terrorism other than this person saying this. But you're tracking everything down. How do we?
Well, I would qualify that by saying that I just don't know. And I'm just hesitant to jump to conclusions one way or another. And that we have to base it on what we have. And we want to also see where the investigation leads us. And that's what's important. And so, again, we've indicated we haven't yet to complete the search warrants. We will. And hopefully, in conjunction with the FBI's investigation, we will uncover something else, if it's even there. And so we just don't know a lot of those answers at this time.
He appears to be wearing Muslim clothing, is that correct?
I don't know whether that was Muslim clothing or not. Some folks said it may have been, but I don't even want to jump out there on that. We've already established why he believes he did it, and that's
All right, folks, we'll email this footage and still shots out to everyone so that you have an opportunity to see it, as well as the officer's photo and the suspect's photo. So that will be emailed very shortly. We can go through the slides one more time. For some of you here that didn't get that shot.
Some specific info on this suspect.